By UCD and Kildare footballer Brian McLoughlin, who's teamed up with Electric Ireland to preview the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup. This year, Electric Ireland's #First Class Rivals campaign celebrates unexpected alliances formed by county rivals coming together in pursuit of a common goal to win some of the most coveted titles in GA. Brian, delighted to have you on the show. How are things with you?
Yeah, not too bad now. Thanks very much.
It's a busy time of the year for footballers, isn't it? I mean, a lot of people just juggling, whether it's their club team for some people, whether it's county, colleges or whatever, and you see some people even lining out two teams for one day. It's definitely a hectic period of the year.
Yeah, obviously now in Kildare there was a new competition as well, the 23. So we were playing hurling and football then, and then straight back in with Kildare, and then straight back in with Sigerson. So there's no real rest. So it's been all go over the last couple of weeks now. So it's enjoyable now, but obviously it wasn't ideal now for me. I picked up a slight knock with my hamstring 6 weeks ago now. So I'm just kind of coming back now. So hopefully be involved now next week against UCC and playing with Kildare then this evening, hopefully against Carlow as well, a couple of minutes. So
yeah. And so how many teams were you juggling there in the last little while?
When I was playing hurling for Clane, I was playing football for Clane, and then you're playing Sigerson, and then you're playing Kildare. So there was 4 teams at once.
Geez, that and you kept going all right. And would you consider, like, obviously you've played under 20, won that All Ireland with Kildare, and you're part of the senior panel. How much of a dual player are you? Are you kind of torn between two codes in a way?
Not now. I played a lot of hurling underage, and then once I was in with Kildare, then I kind of took a step back, and then obviously for the 23s campaign, I came back playing hurling. So I think the senior hurling manager in Clane wants me to play next year. So we'll see now. See how Kildare goes and see how the hamstring and the body is holding up before I make any judgments on that just yet.
And would you have, like, when you were a kid, did you prefer one code over the other, or?
It was kind of, I suppose, being from Kildare, it's more of a footballing county, so it was more towards football. But I really enjoy hurling now. I think it's a fantastic sport, and I really enjoy playing it now. So hopefully, maybe try the dual this year.
Yeah, I was speaking with your former under-20 manager Davy Burke a couple of weeks back, and we were reflecting on that All Ireland glory for Kildare in 2018 when you beat Mayo. How big was that for the county? Because obviously Dublin dominating Leinster for many years, but doing something like that had to be a big boost for Kildare.
It was absolutely huge. Like, I don't think we've won. We didn't have great success. Obviously, over the last couple of years, we were successful in minors, but we had never kicked on to really win any All Irelands. We were lost in 2. My age, we lost 2 minor All Ireland semi-finals. So I think it was huge. Like, it's still, even to this day, people will be talking about it. So it's brilliant now, and hopefully, I think it'd be great if we could build it on into the senior team. I think a lot of us now are involved. So.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, how many would you estimate are involved with Glen Ryan's panel at this point?
It's there's probably 7 or 8, I'd say, anyway. And then a couple of lads like Mark Dempsey's, obviously he's after taking a step away. He's gone travelling for the year, but I'm sure he'll be back. So I think there's a good crop of lads coming through there, obviously, and with the lads who are already there. So I think it's an exciting time for Kildare football, hopefully.
Yeah, and like even some of the forwards that I've watched in the last year or so, I was at a game when he played Cork in Thurles last year, and Jimmy Hyland, I think he might have come on in that game when Daniel Flynn went off injured early on. But either way, he played really well. We've seen what Dara Kirwan can do and how much velocity was for Naas and Leinster final. Forwards like that, you really just seem to be putting together a really nice team there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's been very competitive, and even Paddy Woodgate played there the other day. He made his debut. I think he scored 6 or 7 points as well. So it's hugely competitive now. So hopefully we can build on it. I think there's a couple more forwards there who are showcasing as well. So I think obviously it's an exciting time, and it's a very competitive full forward line to try to get into. So hopefully we can build on it now this year in Division 1. Obviously it's a big step up from Division 2 last year. So
yeah, it's good. I suppose that, and being in Division 1 will prepare you for whatever you're about to face in summer. Do you feel like, Kildare is on that rise now that it needs to be on?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Like, obviously winning the 20s a couple of years ago was brilliant, and we getting promoted then last year. Division 2 was huge as well. So I think just a big league campaign this year to build some momentum into the championship, and then hopefully give the Leinster a good rattle and go from there, I suppose.
And how good do you think Dara Kirwan can be? Because, he was quiet for long stretches of that match against Shelmaliers, and then all of a sudden that bit of class and he scores the goal, which revives their chances. He just seems like a player who can go off either foot, has the size, has the quality, has it all.
Dara, yeah, he's absolutely brilliant. Like he can do anything. Like he's left foot, right foot. A lot of people still don't even know which foot he even shoots with.
Mm.
He's big, he's strong, he's powerful. Like so, he's something. I wouldn't fancy marking him anyway. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, not to mention Daniel Flynn as well. I mean, what a machine he is.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, there's so many good forwards. You look at even Jimmy. You look at Paddy Woodgate coming in there now. Shane O'Sullivan thereabouts as well. Like so, there's a lot of good forwards coming. It's just about linking up and gelling together and getting the results, I suppose.
Yeah, so I'm just ask you. I'm going to ask you about the new management team for Kildare in a minute. But just were you surprised when you saw Jack O'Connor stepping away? And obviously he's taken over Kerry since.
I suppose it was a little bit, but I suppose there was no hard feelings towards Jack at all. Like I thought he was great last year with us. He obviously gave me my debut and gave me a lot of opportunities. So it'll be interesting to see now on the 30th. He's back in Newbridge anyway for his first game. So looking forward.
Yeah, and then what about when Glenn Ryan came in and never what sort of impact has he made? Have things changed much since he's come in?
They've definitely changed. Yeah, I think all of us on the panel at the moment, we've all looked up to these lads when we were young lads going to Crow Park to watch them in all these games. So I think everyone has the utmost respect for these lads, and I think they're bringing a good energy and there's good positive vibes around the camp and around the county even. And I think it's just an exciting time overall for Kildare being in Division 1 now this year and hopefully getting a good crack at Leinster yet again.
Yeah, I mean, Dermot Earley will obviously go down, like Glenn Ryan himself, of course. Dermot Earley is up there with some of the greatest names ever in Kildare, as is John Doyle and Anthony Rainbow, another player that has done great stuff in that white jersey. Does it make a difference having all these Kildare legends in the dressing room? Because like outside managers can be absolutely brilliant and have won lots of titles, don't get me wrong, but sometimes when they're trying to draw on the passion and the energy of your county, does it kind of help that these are lads who have done it in your jersey?
Yeah, it definitely matters. Like they're big. They're all very proud Kildare men, and they bring a lot of enthusiasm to the team and a lot of good energy. So I think it should be exciting. I think you can't but listen to these lads. Like Johnny Doyle is one of the best forwards in the country ever, as far as I'm concerned. And Dermot Earley obviously dominated midfield for Kildare for years. Glenn and Rainbow then two massive leaders for Kildare. Like so, I think it just makes it an exciting time, I suppose, for it to be a part of a panel with these lads over us.
Yeah, and they cover all positions too. Glenn a defender, yeah. Dermot a midfielder, and an attacker in John Doyle.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, they tick all the boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what would you consider? What would you like to see from Kildare this year? I mean, obviously, look, you'd love an All Ireland, you'd love a Leinster title, but what would represent progress this year?
I think a strong league campaign will be huge. I think last year you seen with us in Division 2, you can build up a lot of momentum with a good league campaign. And I think obviously we're just going to focus one game at a time. So we just look towards Kerry on the 30th, hopefully get a good performance in and then just go from there really and just build on it and get back. Obviously you want to be competing in the championship as well, back to Leinster finals and give Dublin another crack hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to run through a quick fire Q&A with you, you can give answers as short or as long as you'd like. But what do you remember of your first time at Croke Park? Now, this could be as a kid or as a player.
I don't know why it springs to mind, but I remember Kildare played Fermanagh in Croke Park. I don't know why. I think I had a picture of me in the paper one day when I was a young lad with blonde tips in my hair. So that's the first of the things that I think of anyway.
Well, who's your favourite player of all time?
Johnny Doyle, maybe probably back in the day.
Who's been your toughest opponent and why?
I suppose David Clifford. We played against him in minor. I think he scored 7 or 8 points, so he fairly hammered us. I think it's for obvious reasons. Everyone knows why.
What's the team you most like to beat? Club or county or college?
Naas.
What's your proudest day playing sport?
Winning the All Ireland 20s.
Who's been the biggest influence on your career?
My dad.
Your favourite stadium to play in?
Croke Park.
Best atmosphere you've played
in? Best atmosphere. Probably actually a school game against St. Pat's and having.
Really, yeah?
Oh, they're mad. They are lunatics.
What's been the biggest disappointment of your career?
Probably actually losing a minor semi-final. I'll never forget it. Or maybe losing to St. Benilla's in school.
Okay.
That was obviously a massive one.
Who's the joker on the Kildare panel?
Shane O'Sullivan.
Who's the best trainer?
Kev Feely.
And who's the best dressed and the worst dressed?
Best dressed, Ben McCormack. Worst dressed. Worst dressed, Mick O'Grady.
Are we talking bootcut jeans here?
Just terrible.
Who loves the media attention?
Dan Flynn.
What player from another sport do you admire?
Tiger Woods.
Okay, and then finally, what manager from another sport do you admire?
Jose Mourinho.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Really appreciate you joining me, Brian. That's Brian McLoughlin.